This is the Whole Care Network. Helping you tell your story one podcast at a time. Content presented in the following podcast is for information purposes only. Views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the host and guest and may not represent the views and opinions of the Whole Care Network. Always consult with your physician for any medical advice, and always consult with your attorney for any legal advice. And thank you for listening to the Whole Care Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to From Guilt to Good, Self-Care Solutions for Busy Caregivers. I am privileged to guide you through the CARE framework, which is the exact framework, the exact steps that I developed after walking my own path from guilt to good as a caregiver. I'll be sharing the transformative power of resilience as we go through today's episode. It is the crucial ingredient in having a fulfilling life for both yourself and for those you care for. And this framework that we're talking about, the CARE framework, if you haven't listened to the first two episodes where I go through capacity and advocacy, please go back and listen to those little mini episodes that I dropped, and then come back and listen to this one. This framework is what we cover in the Empowered Self-Caregiver Cohort. And so it's really important that you get a little taste of what the framework is all about and how it will help you in both your self-care journey and your caregiving life. So the first thing I want to talk about is just what resilience is. It's not about never experiencing stress. It is not about avoiding stress altogether or even preventing stress from happening, because let's face it, we all have stressful circumstances, whether you're a caregiver, a family caregiver, whether you're a caregiver for your child or your parents. It's inevitable, right? Stress is part of life. Stress can be good for us even, but we want to just understand that resilience is not about just avoiding stress altogether. It's about developing a compassionate, forgiving attitude toward ourselves and allowing us to navigate the hardships with less turbulence. So it's about being able to bounce back faster with less damage to our physical, emotional, spiritual bodies, right? So today, we're going to explore how we can practice kindness and self-compassion through our self-care journey, bounce back from stressful situations with less impact on our well-being, and alleviate that guilt. Isn't that wonderful? Because I really believe that guilt is the one thing that holds us back more than anything else. It is not that we don't have time, it's that we feel guilty about taking the time. And the more we do that, the more we stay stuck, the less resilience we're going to have. So that's why it's so important to develop resilience. And in the Empowered Self-Caregiver Cohort, which is launching this month, January 2024, you'll learn resilience building strategies, and that becomes your armor against that guilt and its debilitating side effects that often keep us stuck in our behaviors and attitudes that won't allow us to give ourselves the care we need and the life we want. You know this is true. You know that even when you think, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, Z to take better care of myself, you know that the one thing that doesn't allow you to lean into that is that guilt. And when we are not able to lean into our self-care practices, when we are not able to rely on our self-care practices to take care of us, then we become less and less resilient over time. That has more and more devastating impacts to our physical bodies, our nervous systems, our emotional well-being, and our relationships with other people. So it's really important to build resilience, and you do that by practicing resilience. Just like with most things, you develop the skill by practicing it. Armed with practical resilience techniques derived from my real life experiences and the experience of others, plus scientific research, you too can alleviate the impacts of stress, allowing your moments to come into your life more openly, more freely. You're going to allow yourself moments of self-compassion and grace, and that will keep you moving forward toward better self-care. And my favorite thing, caregiving confidence. When I started my self-care journey and really started paying attention and really started saying, like, I've been doing self-care all wrong. It's not working. I still feel like junk all the time. I'm going to start paying attention to self-care and how it can really help me. And when I started doing that, my intention was actually to stop focusing on caregiving all the time, to turn my focus on me and what my body, my mind, my spirit needed. And my intention was to walk away from that caregiving mindset. You can't walk away from caregiving all the time, but just take off the caregiving hat, right? What I did not realize was going to happen, but one of the biggest surprises and the biggest joys for me is that as I developed a better, more holistic and sustainable self-care plan for myself through trial and error, I've done all the work so that you don't have to. Well, you do have to do a little bit of work, but I did a bunch of trial and error. And what happened was, as I started developing a plan that actually worked, that I could actually keep up with, that actually fit into my crazy schedule, I developed not only self-confidence, but caregiving confidence. So I was able to make better decisions about what the care was needed for my loved one without that guilt, without that stepping back, stepping forward, stepping back. I was able to make those decisions with confidence, and that released so much pressure, so much guilt, and it just made me a much better caregiver, even though that wasn't my focus. My focus was on taking better care of me. And so I encourage you to, tuck that little nugget in the back of your mind. Know that this is about you. You deserve the care. You deserve the time and the energy to care for yourself. But know that as you develop resilience, as you develop the capacity that you need, as you develop the self-advocacy tools, as you develop resilience, you are going to become a more confident person and caregiver. Resilience, circling back to why we're here today, resilience enables caregivers to experience challenges without judgment, find moments of presence in the chaos of everyday caregiving life, because it's there, whether we, no matter how much we plan, it's going to be there. And it also enables you to continue pursuing your goals with grace for ourselves and for those around us. And so join me in the next episode where we delve into the final piece of the care framework, enjoyment. It's the most fun. It's enjoyment. And so if you're ready to start nurturing your needs while effectively caring for others, I encourage you to go ahead and join the Empowered Self-Caregiver Cohort. We are launching in just a few weeks here in January 2024, and you can take control of your caregiving and your self-care journey today. Remember, it all begins with a choice, and you have the power to make it. So head to the show notes, click the link, learn more about the Empowered Self-Caregiver Cohort, and I will see you in next week's episode.
This is the Whole Care Network. Helping you tell your story one podcast at a time.